here, there's going all over the country, all Maya Road, Grandy, Princess Town, all over. People just come over here and buy fish and sell. And the cheapest fish you could ever get is from here, off our trawling. And if they do that to trawlers, they'll be sacrificing everybody, putting everybody down the bread line.
Stress or no stress, stress, and that we can't take. Poor people stress and all kind of stress. I'm a vex, Lord of mercy. Everywhere me go is beer stress. Everywhere me look is beer stress. In the north, in the south, in the east, in the west. Yeah.
I would like first to hear publicly the concerns of the fishermen, and therefore I want to hear some one person come forward and let us know exactly what your concerns are, and then I will tell you how we shall deal with it. Who is the spokesman, Andy? Come Andy, come in front of him.
I suppose the whole village know by now this government intends to, well, is making moves to close down the fishing industry. Well, trawling by itself. We all know that this village was built upon trawling since the days of our grandfathers and great-grandfathers and so on. But this government just so and overnight come up with this idea to close down trawling, right? Without taking into consideration how it's going to affect the people of this village, right? A lot of us depend on it directly and indirectly. We depend on it a lot. A lot of us, we make our livelihoods by selling fish. A lot of us are taking loans. We have children going to school. Some of us have children going high school, university, and we use the fishing industry, the vending, to support our lives and our livelihoods, right? Another thing, the fishermen, they too depend on it, and it seems as though the government, the powers that be, separated us by pulling the fishermen one side and approaching them to offer them packages and to sell out their businesses without taking into consideration how it's going to affect the rest of the village, the vendors, the community as a whole, because as we all know, a lot of cheap fish come out of this port. In fact, this is the largest fishing port in this country, right? And fish trawlers bring in fish here by thousands of pounds. And this fish reaches all over, all Mayaro, Toko, real far places where fish is being caught. If they should take this off the market, poor people are going to suffer. Because the average family could buy 4 pounds, 3 pounds of fish for $20 that coming out of Orange Valley and feed their family on that. If that fish is to come off the market, chicken prices, meat prices, all sorts of food prices going to go sky high, and it's going to go beyond the reach of the poor families. So it's going to affect even people outside of our community. And we are hoping that Mr. Warner assists us in some way to keep our industry afloat, because we're not willing to give it up.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. Now, I'm aware of the problem, but I wanted you to hear it for yourself. Because for me, it seems as if this match the PNM. So the PNM closed down Carli, and to this day, people are suffering. Whole communities have folded. The whole economy in Central has taken a nosedive, and Carli has been closed for the last 10 years. 2003, they closed Carli. 2 years later, in Dar Singh, came and told you it's VSEP or nothing. Take it or leave it. And you were forced to take it. And then 2 years later, he got his medal, his silver medal, Chaponia silver medal, for a job well done for the PNM. Today is no different. And what I'm saying to you, therefore, is what is for me very painful is the fact that nobody has spoken to the fishermen. Nobody saw it fit to honor this schedule which they have, schedule of meetings. Ramona Ramdial quickly agreed to meet the fishermen, and she met them in Port of Spain, to tell them nothing can be done. The fact is, when she wanted their vote, she didn't go Port of Spain. She came to them in Couva North. But now, today they have problems, and all they have to talk to you was come to Port of Spain. And the last meeting again, where? In Port of Spain. They must come here and see for themselves. They must come here and see for themselves the condition of the jetty in Orange Valley. They must come here and see for themselves that whole mud patch they have. They must come and see how run down the places. They must come and see how there are no places for you to put your vessels, your boats, and so on. And they must understand the pressure you all go through. But in Port of Spain, they can't see that. In their paddles with their glass up air conditioned, they can't see that. If ever a government has forgotten how it is to be poor, this government has. I made the point again and again. Unlike many of them, I still have my sapat home, you know. The sapat I used to wear as a little boy in Londonville, I have it still. And I'm saying therefore to sit down with the fishermen and talk with them. Because you have to find out, first of all, what they will do after you have banned trawling. What will they do in terms of their family, their mortgage, their payments, their schools, and so on, what for their children? What will they do? Sit down with them and see if you can come to some proposal arrangement whereby you want to have this in, put it on a phase basis if you want to do that. But whatever it is, the first thing you have to do is to sit down and to consult the fishermen. They have ideas too. This government believes that they alone have all the ideas. Nobody else is smart or intelligent. They don't understand that out of the mouth of even children, you can get ideas. And my whole role today is to ask you to do two things. First of all, I want to stand with you, with Cintra, sometime early next week, with a delegation of the fishermen, for us to work out and see what steps we can take so as to resist this move to the government. Whatever we do must be based on our collective efforts. We must sit down and talk and plan and come up with strategies to see how we can resist them. And that is all I ask for you today. But I can't do that for you if you give me a taxi. I can't do that for you if you give me a taxi. My friends, the era of taxi is over. It's over. Taxi kind of politics is not Cintra kind of politics. Taxi kind of politics is not the ILP kind of politics. And therefore I said that this dawn of a new era must be so, not only because of the color green. We must sit and see how this affects your lives. We must sit and see what solutions there are, if any. We must find out what other countries do. All countries in the world ban trawling. All about trawling. And therefore there's something that they are doing there that we can do also. That we can emulate. We must look and see what they're doing. Nobody ever came here to you and asked you, what are your ideas? What plans you have? What, of course, the scheme is? How this will affect your family? Nobody. Because you see, the trouble is that today they're here. But they forget that what goes around comes around. And yesterday, they all were nobodies. Tomorrow, in fact, on the 22nd of October, some of them will still be nobodies. And a year from now, all of them will be nobodies. So if ever a government has failed you as a people, this one has. Tomorrow morning, they're hustling to give some ex-Carli workers some lands at Center Point Mall. Just to fool you before elections. To give the impression, right, that they're coming to answer your needs. They're painting roads like crazy. They're fixing box drains like crazy. They're giving you food cards. I tell you this, the food cards they give you, after the end of October, they have no value. No value. If ever you see deception, this government is it. And I tell you, to fight them, you must fight them smart. But to fight them smart, you have to have somebody smart. After today's meeting, they'll come and tell you they don't see you. After today's meeting, they'll first tell you before the 21st October, let me talk. They will promise you the moon and the stars. Tell them put it in writing. Tell them put it in writing. Right? Put it in black and white. Whatever they promise you about trawling, put it in writing. Because their words mean nothing. Sometimes not even in writing. But I tell you, we shall sit down with a small delegation and see how we could treat this. We shall look at countries that do trawling still and see what their best practices are and adopt their best practices here. We shall sit down and discuss with you to see what, of course, are your suggestions, what are your views. Because I tell you this, this morning a guy came to me. A guy came from Orange Valley. His name is Lee. I'll call his name. He's a fisherman. He wants a job. It's the one that I have to pay my bills. I can't pay for my van, and so on, so on, so on. I said, what can you do, sir? He said, all my life, all I've done is sell fish. Now, what do you tell a man like that? 34 years old, with 2 children, a home, and a van to pay for. All his life, all he has done is sell fish. He's an expert fisherman. And just so, abracadabra, his life is gone. It doesn't make sense. But when you have a government who is insensitive to the people it is supposed to serve, these things happen. We give you the assurance today, and under us, that and God's face you will never see. So as I conclude, and I'm particularly asking the last speaker to get a delegation of 579 persons that who represent a cross-section of all the fishermen. Let us stand with Cintra, and the second working day after the 21st of October, the 23rd,